Hey everyone, welcome back to Next Level English. Today, we'll dive into 35 MCQs on reflexive and relative pronouns to test your knowledge. Ready to level up your grammar skills? Let's get started. 1. Choose the correct reflexive pronoun she looked at. In the mirror. Herself. Tips: a reflexive pronoun refers to the subject. 2. Which is the correct relative pronoun? The book I read yesterday was excellent. Which? Tips: use which for things or animals. 3. Choose the correct reflexive pronoun they enjoyed. At the party. Themselves. Tips: reflexive pronouns are for when the subject and object are the same. 4. Select the correct relative pronoun. The person called me as my friend. Who? Tips: use who for people as the subject. 5. Which sentence uses a reflexive pronoun correctly? I made this cake by myself. Tips: use by myself to emphasize doing something alone. 6. Choose the correct reflexive pronoun he blamed for the mistake. Himself. Tips: the reflexive pronoun reflects back to he. 7. Which sentence correctly uses a reflexive pronoun? I hurt myself while playing. Tips: reflexive pronouns show the subject acts on itself. 8. Choose the correct relative pronoun. The movie we watched was amazing. That. Tips: that refers to things or people in defining clauses. 9. Choose the correct reflexive pronoun John saw in the mirror. Himself. Tips: use himself for a male subject acting on itself. 10. Choose the correct reflexive pronoun we enjoyed at the event. Ourselves. Tips: ourselves is used for plural subjects. 11. Select the correct relative pronoun. The woman works here is very kind. Who? Tips: use who for people as the relative clause subject. 12. Which is the correct reflexive pronoun? She cut herself while cooking. Tips: reflexive pronouns reflect the subject's own action. 13. Choose the relative pronoun, the house I grew up in was old. Which? Tips: which refers to things or animals. 14th. Which sentence correctly uses a reflexive pronoun? She looked at herself in the mirror. Tips: reflexive pronouns refer to the subject. 15th. Correct relative pronoun, the student. Finished the test first is my friend. Who. Tips: who refers to people as the clause subject. 16. Choose the correct reflexive pronoun. I will buy the gift for. Myself. Tips: use myself when the speaker acts alone. 17. Select the correct relative pronoun. The dog barked last night is mine. That. Tips: that is for things or people in defining clauses. 18th. Correct reflexive pronoun, the children taught. To play the game. Themselves. Tips: reflexive pronouns are for subjects acting on themselves. 19th. Which relative pronoun fits the sentence? The artist. Painting I admire is famous. Whose. Tips: who shows possession or association. 20. Choose the correct reflexive pronoun. He took care of. After the surgery. Himself. Tips: himself refers to the subject. 21st. Correct relative pronoun, the children. Played in the park are my cousins. Who. Tips: use who for people as the relative clause subject. 22. Which sentence uses a reflexive pronoun correctly? They did it by themselves. Tips: themselves refers to a plural subject. 23. Select the correct relative pronoun, the teacher. You met yesterday is very kind. Who. Tips: who refers to people as the relative clause subject. 24. Choose the correct reflexive pronoun for the sentence. She did the work by. Herself. Tips: reflexive pronouns end in self or selves. 25. Choose the correct relative pronoun. The girl lives next door is my friend. Who. Tips: use who for people as the subject of the sentence. 26. Choose the correct reflexive pronoun. He blamed for the mistake. Himself. Tips: reflexive pronouns reflect the subject's action. 27. Choose the correct relative pronoun. The book I borrowed was interesting. Which. Tips: use which for things or animals. 28. Identify the correct reflexive pronoun. They built the house by. Themselves. Tips: use themselves when referring to plural subjects. 29. Choose the correct reflexive pronoun. She looked at. In the mirror. Herself. Tips: reflexive pronouns end in self or selves. 30. Which is the correct relative pronoun? The teacher gave the lecture, was great. Who. Tips: who refers to people. 31. Correct reflexive pronoun: they completed the project by. Themselves. Tips: use themselves for plural subjects. 32. Identify the correct sentence. This is the book I was talking about. Which. Tips: which refers to things. 33. Choose the correct reflexive pronoun. I can do it all by. Myself. Tips: use myself for singular, first person. 34. Which relative pronoun fits best? The singer performed last night is famous. Who. Tips: who refers to the subject of a sentence. 35. Choose the correct reflexive pronoun. He hurt during the game. Himself. Tips: reflexive pronouns match the subject. If you enjoyed this quiz, don't forget to hit the like button, comment your answers below, and subscribe to Next Level English for more grammar challenges.